On Mother's Day of 2021, we decided to take a trip up the Cotton Brook Road. This area is of particular interest to our family because of our family's ties to the area and to the farms at the top of the road. Mother's Day Cotton Brook Road trip, take one.
You're silly.
The Great Vermont Flood of 1927 was devastating to a lot of areas. One of those areas especially hard hit was the Little River settlement in Waterbury, Vermont. Flooding took out roads, bridges, houses, and it cut off an entire settlement, at least those who had stuck around despite the hard nature of living on this mountain, from the rest of its town. The farms and families along the Cotton Brook Road eventually left this area. In the 1930s, Franklin Roosevelt's Civilian Conservation Corps came to the area with the purpose of building a reservoir to stop any future flooding. The resulting reservoir ended up flooding the Little River, which completely submerged the settlement at the bottom of the valley. Through genealogical research, I learned that my grandmother's ancestors, John and Sarah Ladd, lived on a farm at the top of the Cotton Brook Road. When they first purchased the land in the early 1840s, the land belonged to the town of Bolton, but due to the nature of the mountains cutting off this section from the rest of Bolton, the land was then annexed to Waterbury. In 1862, things started to go wrong for John and Sarah, and I know this because while doing some research in Waterbury, I found a document that shows that Sarah sued John for divorce for, and I quote, the detestable crime of adultery. I don't know who he was supposed to have adultered with, but we do know that he was angered by this. He attempted to set fire to one of the barns on the property. He was later arrested for arson, sent to the prison at Windsor. From Windsor, he was deemed insane, and he was sent to the Brattleboro Asylum for the Insane, where he died in 1875. Sarah Ladd lived up on the farm with her boys until they were old enough to be married and have kids of their own. Her eldest son, John Franklin Ladd, who went by Frank, ended up purchasing the farm the same year that his father died at the asylum. My great-great-grandfather was Frank Ladd's brother, Walter Ladd. Walter Ladd owned different farms around the Little River and Cotton Brook region. He was a logger. He worked the land. He bought and sold properties until eventually moving out into Washington, Vermont. Property that we searched for first was the McCaffrey farm.
And here's the old McCaffrey orchard.
The McCaffrey farm is pretty easily identifiable. You will find a very large apple orchard as you come around the bend. The McCaffrey farm was the site of the heinous McCaffrey murders.
Are these steps right here?
Could be.
Oh, it looks like it's falling in on itself a little bit. Here
Lots of information can be found about it online. My great-great-grandfather, Walter Ladd, eventually bought the McCaffrey farm.
I should call it the McCaffrey Pond.
Nobody wanted to touch it for many years.
So he murdered his wife and his mother in a fit of rage and laid them down in this basement. And the house stood here. And then your great-great-great-grandfather bought this place and it burned. He was able to get some of his stuff out of it, but the place burned down. Sure would hate to drop my phone in the water. Huh, that's funny. So that is a bridge probably for the old road, and then the McCaffrey farm is right behind those three thick trees right there. I'll have to look on the map when we get back down.
Was that clearing behind them? Was that their farm? Or is it called a farm because of the apple?
No, it was all a farm, but a lot of people up on this hill, they the farm was so that they could live. They would, make their own, cheese and milk and eggs, and then some people did other jobs to make extra money on the side. They would sell stuff to people. And
All the buildings up on the Cotton Brook Road were eventually abandoned, fell into disrepair. They were used by loggers in the area. They were used by the Civilian Conservation Corps as bunkhouses for the men working on the reservoir project. A lot of the buildings remained standing in the 20s and 30s. They were eventually either burnt down or torn down so that folks would not go inside and get hurt.
it's actively hailing on us right now. I don't know if this is picking up the drops of hail.
Right here, Dad. Right here.
Oh my God.
Look.
You know what? I'd rather hail than rain. Is it? This is never going to pick it all up.
You hear it?
Oh, yeah. Interesting. That was cool. There it goes. See, Aria? Just passing.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to remember this bridge. So this is that big left-hand turn at the top of the map. And the Ladd farm is up there. So John Ladd lived up here before he went to the Waterbury Asylum for the Insane. His wife, our multi-great-grandmother, continued to live up here with her son, also named John. So the rock wall comes down, crosses the road. I think this is the Ladd farm.
On this side, right?
Yeah.
This is where you got that old door.
This is a bit more of a hike up through the woods. So we found the old Ladd farm. And Emin found the well. This is where John Ladd lived with his wife Sarah Moody Bragg. It was Bolton at the time. Look at all the bricks down in there. Must be from the chimney. So my great-grandfather was Arthur Ladd. His father was Walter Ladd. His father was John Ladd, who built this farm. This must have been the entrance to the cellar. You'd walk through these stones and then you'd be in the basement where I am standing now. These bricks. Here's an old stove. Looks like it was broken up many, many years ago. here is part of the old well. Oh, look at that. Part of a wagon. Yeah, it's a big spring, part of a wagon. Must have used a whole team of horses to move these things.
You see little treasures in these jars. They serve different purposes. Not so little anymore. Mom, I'm tiny. I'm compact. I heard you were taller than me. I am, actually.
What?
I heard I was taller than you.
Really?
Yeah, look. Can't give you a back to the straight here.
Yeah.
And then back to, I think, is the main building and the entryway into the basement.
Wow, they were not obese back then. That was a small entrance.
I'm sure it's compacted in a little bit over time.
You're probably correct.
Trillium.
What is that?
It's a flower with
So there it is, Lad Farm. Jump it! Jump it!
No, my chain isn't off. It just is not shifting.
Hi. Yep. Good. That'll be more comfy. You gotta remember, I'm doing that with rim brakes and no suspension. Yeah. So that's how far it is to get from the Ladd house to the McCaffrey farm.
Yeah, look behind. You are.
Keep going then.
You're in my way!
Oh my god! Alright, here we go. Emmett. On your right. Careful! Careful!
Oh.
What did you yell?
Get speed.
Yeah, go fast.
Dude, I'm having as much speed as I'm gonna have.
Know how this thing works.
Either hit this,
Here, every time I go over one of those things, I have no brakes. No brakes. Oh, something just fell. Oh, my glasses.
Christ. You don't know how you did that.
Passing the,
Climb easy.
Yeah.
we're passing the landslide area.
Yep. Did you hear Arya singing landslide?
Well, good. You know, I was reading about it, but I couldn't really figure out what they were talking about. So now I have a visual.
Maybe she wrote this about this.
I don't think it was.
No, Mom, you're not a hill.
Oh, nice.
Oh my god, that was deeper than I thought.
That's what she said.
That's what he said. Catch up to you as you go.
wait till they get out of the trees. Ready. Ah. Don't hit your mother. On your left.
No, Dad.
Oh, I don't remember this one. Awesome.
Mom, I thought you were going over the bars.
We made it.
And that tree was down.
Did they fall off?
Okay. Watch. Stop. I can't. Neither brake works.
Yeah. This bike is trash, and it won't shift past this gear.
No, it won't.
So
It won't.
my legs are pumping.
Well, hit the top one. Is the top one not working?
No, nothing's working.
Oh, shocker.
How'd that taste? That was a sweet taste of success.